Well, hello everyone. I want to welcome you to Win the Room. My name is Kelly Hattis, and I am the CEO of Win the Room. And I'm also the CEO of Emisor, which is an online educational platform. You can find these two companies at wintheroom.com and Emisor with two eyes.com. So today, what I want to talk to you about is how to win the room. And it's been something that's been with me since I'm a little girl. I absolutely love communication, and I have been an observer of people communicating, I think, my entire life. So I want to tell you that excellent communication, in my view, it brings out your best. It creates a very positive culture. And if you're looking to hire people, you actually hire more efficiently. And if you're an entrepreneur and if you have a company that you would like to raise capital for, it helps you in this instance because you become really great at presenting and you become really great at pitching. So I think of communication right now as being so important, not only for in person, but also for online. And at the end of the day, we're not meant to be perfect, not by any stretch of the imagination. We're meant to be authentic. And that authenticity is filled with our quirks, it's filled with our little flaws, our past, our present, our future. And as you all know, we all play many different roles in our lives, and we have been shaped by much of our past, by what people have told us about us, by what how parents have told us, by what teachers have told us, by what past employers have told us, by past boyfriends, girlfriends, you name it. We have all taken that in, and that has all become part of who we are, right? We're all of that. But in order to get really good at communication, we need self awareness around that. So we need to start to peel away those layers and start to see who is that teacher that told you this? And is this now relevant in your life? What you did 5 years ago is not the same as what you're doing today. So don't bring those old messages if you don't need to, because your inner thoughts are key, are vital. So you need to think well. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there was an athlete years ago in, I believe, the 1960s or 70s. His name was Roger Bannister, and he broke the 4 minute mile. He actually won an Olympic gold medal for it. But at the time, no one believed that he could do this because no one ever came close to breaking a 4 minute mile while running. But yet he knew in his heart that he wanted to do this. And so what did he do? He started to visualize himself and he took the negativity out of his thinking and he put in a lot of positivity and he started to see himself winning the races and he actually started to see himself practicing. And how would he practice so that he could make the 4 minute mile? Well, it was because of his visualization, and it was because of the way that his thoughts were. They weren't negative, that they were positive. But yet, the people around him were giving him messages that he couldn't do it. But internally, his thoughts were healthy. And so what happened is he won the Olympic gold medal and he broke the 4 minute mile. Look it up. His name is Roger Bannister, and it's really an amazing story. So ask yourself now, what do you really want? What's preventing you from achieving your goal? And what are you afraid of? And it's funny because most people would say that they're afraid of presenting in front of a group. Actually, it's the number one fear in the world. And it's become so important to us now, the way that we present our communication, because we have stepped into the communication age. And as you know, technology has brought us closer together globally, even locally. We know what's going on at any time of the day. All we have to do is just check out social media or check one of our apps, and we know. what's happening in the world. So, what this has done is that it's brought the world closer together. Therefore, we've made friends easily with people who are 10,000 miles away, and now we can actually do business with them, and now we can influence larger global markets. But are we ready? That's the $64,000 question. Are we ready? I think that communication is a science and it's an art. But before it becomes an art, you need to do the science. And so this is what I teach. This is what I love to teach. How do you motivate? How do you inspire people? How do you persuade them to get what you want while they at the same time get what they want for a win-win, right? How do you win the room? So let's talk a little bit about that. Well, first, the journey starts with you, right? What matters to you right now in this moment? That's what's important. And that's what you got to be really clear about, your own objective. And strategy. You have to fall in love with strategy. Strategy is key. Strategy will get you where you want to go with your communication. And you may have heard of the who, what, where, when, and why, the 5 W's. I think they're really vital. You'll want to ask yourself, who are you in this moment, and what do you bring to the room that is so important for your audience? Whether you're online, whether you're on stage, whether you're in front of the cameras, who are you? And then on the other side, who's your audience? Who are they? What inspires them? What's their demographic? What's the socioeconomic level? You need to know all of this. And then the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And why does your audience need this now? So these questions that you ask yourself, these strategies will help you to become really clear and support your main points, your thesis. Because at the end of the day, people don't have the capacity for a long talk anymore, to hear long stories, or they don't want to stay online that long. Everything is quick. So the cleaner your communication is, the more passionate it will be felt, and the more passionate you'll feel about it. So the who's your audience, the why is it so important, and what is your objective? What do you want? And where are you at this very moment in time? And that will indicate about how you should go about your strategy. Also, when is it? Is it in the morning? That will indicate how maybe you tweet, or how maybe you post, or how maybe you treat a morning audience if you're live, right? And then another important piece of strategy is the how. The how will support the 5 W's, and the how is a wonderful thing. So once you have, you know who your audience is, you know what your objective is, now you can think about, how will I go about getting what I want? Usually it's through emotion. And you can make people feel loved, you can make them feel liked, you can make them feel incredible, you can make them feel fabulous, you can make them feel important. You can do so many extraordinary things. I have trained so many people to talk to thousands of people while they're on stage. And the one thing that they really had working for them was their strategy. And once that strategy was in place, when they got in front of the people, it was really about the how, and it was about you being in the moment. And there's nothing like it. So if you don't have to worry about your homework, right? The homework is taken care of. Now you can concentrate on the how do I want to make the audience feel. And now I can be connected, and now I can be in the moment. And that's where it all happens. As you know, it happens in the moment. So fall in love with storytelling again. Storytelling is an absolute wonderful, wonderful thing. It's like we've lost it to some degree. Some people now are just, spewing facts and just talking about data, but yet they forget the stories. And if you intertwine that data with a story, people will remember it more. So use descriptive words, use images, use pictures. The stories will only anchor what you want, and they'll make it that much more valuable for your audience. Our storytelling is ancient, goes back to the cave days. But let's take a look for a second at ancient Greece, right? So imagine you're accused of stealing a loaf of bread from someone's home. I know that sounds ridiculous, but people were brought up on such charges back then. And you were arrested and you were thrown in jail, but yet you were given a trial. And this trial would take place in front of about 50 people. Well, they would determine your fate, whether you live or you die. So Aristotle, an ancient philosopher, came up with the really the rhetoric, right? And he came up with a strategy. So he wrote a book called Rhetoric, and I just want to point out three things that were so valuable when if you were in front of an audience back then. It was about how logical were you? How logic did you support everything that you were saying? Did the facts match up? Was it understood? Was it clear? Was it concise? Did you ramble on and just go on and on and on, and then people became bored, and that meant that they shut down? Or were you right on point? And then ethics. Were you a valuable person to the community? Uh, where did you say were you so valuable to the community that people respected you, that people could vouch for you? Were you an expert in something? Could you talk to that? So that had to be so well understood by your audience. They had to see that you were an upright, that you had integrity, and that you were it was meant for you to be there defending yourself and saying that you were innocent. Now, the other piece was the emotions. How were you making people feel? Were you making them feel important? Were you making them feel liked? Were you making them feel like they were important, like they mattered? All of this would help you in your argument to say that you were innocent. So you needed three things. Your argument needed to be logical, you needed to be a person of integrity, and you needed to be able to show positive emotions. And that's what would help you win the room back then. So let's talk about how someone loses the room. You lose the room by coming in with a lower energy. It's negative, right? Then there's a conflict that occurs. The audience feels threatened. Story is no longer relevant to them, and they disengage. But how do you win the room? Well, winning the room, you come in with higher energy. You come in positive, right? Making people feel something, influencing them, and you come in, your body language is open. And you're a person of integrity. The emotions match up, so therefore the story will resonate. And you, out of doing this, you create trust and your audience is engaged, and only then can you shift perspective. So when I was talking about, the 5 W's, they're really kind of important. What do you want? What does your audience want? Why is this important? Why now? If you're in front of the Greek Senate and they can determine whether you live or die, that why is pretty damn important. Who are you in this moment and who are they? And how are you going to make them feel? Right? And that's what helps you win the room. So remember, the way that you project yourself to the world, how clear you are, how much integrity you have, and the way that you positively affect someone will help you. All of this win your room, whether you're online or whether you're in person. So remember, you have a gift, and that gift is you, and there is no one like you. You are unique, and what you bring to the table, out of the billions of people on the planet, No one else brings what you have. So remember that and speak from the heart and practice strategy. Strategy is a wonderful thing. So until next time, I hope that you win every room that you walk into. Take care.